So as some of you guys know, I went on Love Island USA around 3, 4 years ago, and recently Love Island just started airing on Netflix. Please go ahead and check this video right over here because you guys are gonna get the context of this video and really truly understand of what I'm going to be talking about. So just a little bit of a backstory. Before I went on Love Island USA, we had a lockdown period. The producers put you in a hotel room where you have to be locked in there for 2 weeks before you enter the villa. And I remember around that time, that 2 weeks that I had in my hands, I was reading this book called Creating a Bug-Free Mind. And it is a book talking about removing all negative thoughts, okay? All negative thoughts, not emotions, because there's a difference. For the 2 weeks I was there, I read that book like it was the Bible. Like I literally took notes and I really was trying to practice what the book was teaching me. And so I really believe that book sparked this thing in me that allowed me to give my all in the show and just fully show up as myself. So by me going on the show and allowing myself to be vulnerable and just giving my all to the experience, I did face its consequences of vulnerability. When I came back home, I looked at Twitter and there was so much hate. I made videos about this, so go ahead and check them out. But that's when I really truly faced one of the forms of rejection and just shame. Let me just share a clip from a podcast that I did with Bailey and Swaggy. Both of them were on Big Brother. So here's what I had to say.
I actually felt like Love Island dimmed me. Like it dimmed my light because before I was always
fear.
Like before I was like always so active on my Instagram stories. I was like literally with a bonnet talking, just like did not care. But after the show, it made me more self-conscious.
Yeah.
So that's what I feel like Love Island actually kind of negatively impacted me, to be very honest.
Okay.
Because I remember when I was looking through the negative comments and it's like people hating for who you are, it hits different. Because it's different if you're going on TV and you're pretending to be somebody and then people hate, because then you can brush it off. But when you know you're being yourself and people are hating for you just being you, it hits different.
It's different if they're like fans of somebody else and then but like you and that person was like enemies, so they're like, okay, I'm gonna ride for my fan.
That's different.
Yeah.
But when you hate me for being myself, nah, it's like I don't.
So recently I had this aha moment. I was in bed on Twitter, reading what people were gonna say about me this time around from Love Island. And of course, there's a bunch of hateful tweets. And this time I found myself reacting differently to those tweets. 3 years ago, when I read those tweets, I reacted with a lot of shame and a lot of guilt, and I just felt really bad about myself looking at these tweets. But this time when I looked at these tweets, something triggered in me. It wasn't revenge. It was like a motivation, because I realized at that exact moment I was done with giving other people the power over me. We need to take a moment and just sympathize with them. You're only going to judge someone as much as you judge yourself. You're only going to criticize someone as much as you criticize yourself. So if you encounter a hater, a person that's overly critical about you, that overly judges you, sympathize with them, because they are projecting their insecurities. They don't have the courage to show up to the world as themselves, to own who they are. They're not bold enough to do it. Life is so easy being a bystander, right? It's so easy judging. It's so easy criticizing. It's easy to be the person that is just on your phone scrolling and watching everybody else. It's just so easy watching reality TV and, judging everybody's lives. It is the easiest thing you can do in life, be a bystander. But you know what? It's hard as hell living a life of courage. Being the person on that reality TV, being that person in the arena, being that person that is posting the content. That life is harder, and that is a good thing. We don't want the easy way, okay? And I'm not saying, oh my God, you have to do all these crazy things and do extreme stuff, but if you are a person that literally just spends their time judging, criticizing others, your life sucks. It really just does. I have done so many mistakes in my life. I have embarrassed myself multiple times. I have gained so much wisdom from fucking up over and over again by embarrassing myself, by putting myself in stupid ass situations. But I learned and gained so much wisdom, and I truly believe it added so much character to me, and it made my story even greater. You have to put yourself in places that you haven't been, because, for example, the whole saying of if you put a shark in a small tank, it's not gonna grow that big, right? But if you put a shark in the big tank, it freaking grows huge. You're that shark. If you're putting yourself in the same box, around the same people, around the same environment, and you're doing that for most of your life, how do you expect to grow? You know, I was just reading that 75% of Americans are still living in the same town that they grew up in. Remember the shark. Put in a bigger tank, it grows bigger. So self-explore, put yourself in new places, put yourself outside of your comfort zone, because you're gonna learn so much about yourself. You're gonna make so many mistakes. You're gonna learn so many things about the world, and only through that, you will be able to grow, and you're gonna embrace vulnerability, because you're gonna see that as a journey of becoming the best you. You need to have self-compassion. You need to have self-compassion if you want to embrace vulnerability and be more courageous, because you can't go outside of your comfort zone if you're not your best friend, if you're your worst critic. You cannot do it, because guess what? If you criticize yourself so much, and if you are the one that's saying all this negative shit to you, if you are your own hater, what do you think is going to happen when you try to get out of your comfort zone, or when you fail? What do you think is going to happen? You're going to tell yourself, oh, you suck, I knew it. You should have just stayed in your lane. If you're talking to yourself like a hater, if I were to tell myself, oh, you're so annoying, which, to be honest, I did for a very long time, and that's why I had the shield that didn't allow me to be vulnerable, because my inner critic was so loud that it paralyzed me. So if you were telling yourself, oh, you suck, you're so annoying, you know this, what do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen? You're going to be oppressed. So you have to learn to be self-compassionate. You have to learn to be your best friend, okay? Because sometimes people are not going to clap for you. Sometimes people are not going to encourage you. Sometimes people are not going to compliment you. You can go days and weeks without having somebody reassure you or compliment you or tell you that you're doing great. It doesn't matter, because you have yourself. You need to say that to yourself. If you do a mistake, tell yourself, good. Good. We learned something today. On to the next. You embarrass yourself? It's okay, babe. It's fine. I'm proud of you. Keep going. Keep moving. Learn to be your best friend, okay? Learn to be your best friend. Listen, you're always going to be a work in progress. Don't be like, oh, I'm going to love myself when I lose this much weight, or when I this, or when I do that. No, you love yourself today as you are, as your imperfect self, because that imperfect self of yours is perfect enough for you today. You need to accept your flaws. You need to accept your weaknesses. You need to accept the real you, right? Not the Instagrammable you, not the, going out of that house you, the real you. You at your lowest, how you are when you're mad, your inner thoughts, your inner insecurities. You need to accept that, and you can't judge yourself for that. You just need to self-accept, and you need to own who you are. Own it, because I'm telling you, if you don't own who you are, nobody is going to do it for you. Because once you do that, there's nothing that anybody can say that's going to make you think differently, because you already know the truth, but you accept it. You have peace with it. There's this quote by Dr. Brene, which she says, because true belonging only happens when we present our authentic, imperfect selves to the world, our sense of belonging can never be greater than our level of self-acceptance. It's a beautiful quote. Write it down in your notebook if you have to. It's a great daily reminder. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you guys did, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to comment down below. Also, please, if you want to see more of my videos, you guys know what to do. Subscribe, and I hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye.